Hey guys, Zeramus555 here, and I'm coming to you with my Samurai deck profile that I ran at Champs and the other tournaments that went on Saturday. There was also the Undercut tournament, which I went undefeated, and then there was also the Winamat tournament, which I went undefeated. I went 2-2 in Champs, and unfortunately Chainburn won. I did a misplay. I should have probably been 3-1 before Swiss, or after Swiss, but yeah, misplay. So starting off with the monsters, I did run 6 or 17 at the tournament. I don't have it on me anymore, but there was a Max C, so just pretend that's in there as well. The Max C didn't really do a whole lot all day, but I did win me a match against Heretics, Heretics, or however you want to say it, which I did actually only play once. I put the card in the deck because I figured I was going to run into that deck, and the wind-up player that I knew that was going to be there, and possibly other samurais and whatnot, but I ended up really not playing any of those people. I ended up playing all these like slow control decks, so that was unfortunate, but you know what happens. Anyway, starting off, 1 Kageki. Yes, I dropped him down to 1, and it was actually one of the best choices I made for the deck all day. Kageki's really good at 2, obviously helps make your Shi En plays a lot more consistent. But the way I look at it is, Kageki's good, but he just gives your opponent a card to Veiler. If you have your opponent's got a bunch of dead Veilers in their hand, then that's good. That's a bunch of dead cards for you to not worry about. You also have the Elder Asceticism plays, Kagemusha Asceticism and Elder. So, I mean, this guy's really not that important, especially because Special Elder Asceticism and then Normal Summon is a lot better. But the 1 Kageki was good. He put in some work. He's still 2,000 defense, and I would never run more than 2. And I would never run none, but I think actually after doing so well in all the tournaments today, I basically went 8-2 overall. I was very, very happy with the 1 Kageki, and I think I'll keep it like that. It was either basically the 2nd Kageki or a Hand of the 6 Samurai, and I ended up running Hand. It was a weird last-minute choice, but Hand actually won me a couple games, so it was definitely a good call. And if I'd drawn that 2nd Kageki over the Hand, he would have done nothing for me. So 3 Kagemusha, obviously, I'm not going to say anything about that. 2 Elder, I was testing 1 for a long time, but I think you still gotta run 2, especially the Asceticism. He is a special summon. You can always, I actually won 1 game because I went special summon Elder, normal summon Enishi, and I was just like bouncing his stuff. So I think that was game 2 against, or game 3? Game 2 against Heroes. So yeah, 2 Elders, very, very good. Anything you can special summon and get you free counters is obviously important. 3 Kizan, you gotta run 3. He is insane with the gateway combos, especially now that we have Excalibur. There's some crazy shenanigans you can do. 1 Grandmaster, I would still never run more than 1. I'm loving just 1. 2 was bad. It's good with Spirit. I mean, like you normal, special, equip, run over, get a draw. But after that, you really don't get anything else out of it. So, I mean, 1's just fine. It's just for the extra special summon, really. And he has 2,100 beats, which is good. Zanji, he really didn't do anything for me all day. I think I used his effect once, which was good, but really he's just there for the Asceticism plays and to make rank 4s. He was good though. Enishi's still one of the MVPs of the deck, guys. This guy is busted. I was playing the hero player, and he actually didn't read it properly and didn't know I could use it during either player's turn. He like summons out another Shining, goes into his battle phase and attacks. I'm just like, okay, Enishi effect, and he's just like, what? And he reads it, and he's like, what the heck? That's broken. It is broken. It's totally broken. Yeah, I'm not going to mention why he didn't read that, though. Yeah, in the Hand of 6 Samurai, I actually did get off the Hand Grandmaster loop against Heretics. When the dude, I maxed him, I drew into Heavy Storm, and I already had Gateway in my hand, and I drew into like a United and a Dojo, and then a Smoke Signal, I had the Grandmaster. So I search out Hand, I play all Heavy Storm is back row first, search out Hand, play the 3 spell cards, obviously, Gateway, United, and Dojo. Summon Hand, Special Grandmaster. I'm like, Hand effect, Tribute off Grandmaster. He's like, Veiler. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So every summon basically means I get a search off of Gateway. So that was 2. The Gateway was 4, 2, and 2. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to use Hand's effect, Tribute herself. Because she has a cost to Tribute herself. I can still use her effect under Veiler. It's just that her effect's not going to resolve. So I tributed her off to get her back in the grave. I Monster Reborn her back. So that put... I had Grandmaster back to my hand first, and then I specialed her back with Reborn. That would put her back up to 4, 2, and 2. And then you just hand loop. And he had 4 monsters in the field, and I was just like, pop, 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 pop. And he's just like, so you hit every single monster in my field? I'm like, yeah, yep. And he's just like, scoop. So hand is still really, really good. There was a couple other games where she was just there to get over big stuff, and 1600 attack's actually not bad either. So I really like hand. I'm actually glad I put her back in. And one spirit, this guy, oh my gosh, put in so much work on Saturday. So much work. I love him still. Some people are like, he's too slow, don't run him. He's too good not to run him. You equip him to Shi En. You're not worried about the dark hole. So if they go dark hole, you're just like, okay, that's fine. And you save your negate for something else. Like just the draws as well, it's just ridiculous. And people always Valor him. And a lot of things, or one thing a lot of people forget, is if you top deck Uniteds and stuff in this deck, it's kind of dead. But if you have this guy equipped, you're just like play United, special, and then say normal, another Samurai to your hand. There you go. He basically counts as another special summon. So Spirit is really, really good, and I will never take him out of my Samurai deck. I love him. And then 2 effect Valor, and of course the other hand trap was the 1 max C. The Valors were fine. I really didn't actually use them a whole lot all day, surprisingly. I might actually take them out for other traps, but I think I'm going to keep them in. It's fine. It's one of those cards that it's like a love-hate relationship. So that was the monsters. It's 16 monsters. It was 17. I'll have the deck list down below once again, as I always do. So if you guys are curious, it will have the deck list of what I was running at Champs. But like I said, I'm going to put a note beside Maxi saying I'm not running it anymore. It was just kind of that last-minute 41 card to put in. Spells, we got 3 Asceticism. I'm not going to say much about that because that's 3 Asceticism. 3 United. I actually opened up. I'm not gonna lie. I had some really nutty hands on Saturday. I opened up with 3 United one game. I was like, what the frick? I opened up with Gateway 8 times all day, and I shuffled like really well. I just had this new shuffling technique. Usually, I just like shuffle like this a few times. I was like shuffling like this instead, or like a deck of cards. And then I was just putting them together and then doing a couple of those. And I don't know, it was giving me better shuffles. So it was pretty interesting, to say the least. And no, I did not stack. I don't know how to stack. But yeah, I just got really good hands. And I actually opened up with Gateway Dojo United twice. That chance of that never happens, and I opened up with it twice. So that was pretty nutty. And of course, I won both those games. That was once again Hair Addicts, and then game 3 against Norm in the Winamac tourney. Sorry about that, Norm. 2 Dojo, I wasn't going to run these originally, I was just going to take them out, run more traps, but Dojo's too good, it's awesome, love it. It just lets you spam the field, lets you do more crazy plays, get to your Spirit and your Enishi faster, so very, very good. Gateway, obviously, not going to say anything about that. Still running the 2 Uniteds, I was thinking about dropping it down to 1. Just kidding, that was a joke. We got the 1 Rhoda, that's a staple. And this is actually my tech card. I was originally running Double-Edged Sword Technique, as I always do, and I was just like, you know what? I'm sick of that card because it's just like, I love it. I love Double Edge. It's very, very good. But the problem with it in this format right now, and I might try to get next format, is that all it really does is grabs you either Shi En back and a Spirit, or it grabs you back some stuff that you can Synchro or XYZ with, which is good. I mean, like, yes, that's obviously good. It's an instant XYZ or Synchro. That's fantastic. But it doesn't give me any extra protection, which is what the deck needs. It's all about protecting the Shi En, or successfully being able to go off. So I actually ended up dropping the Double Edge for was a single Mystical Space Typhoon. This card put in work all day. It was because people play Samurais and they're like, okay, he only runs 1 Storm usually, so what's the chance of him having that in his hand? It's about 1 in 40 cards, of course, right? So what they do is people usually just set the 1 back row. They'll set like the Solemn Warning or Book of Moon or something, and because they're just like, okay, if he's got the Storm, he's got the Storm. I'm not going to set 2. Sometimes they set 2, and then I would have the Storm. Same thing with Norm. Sorry again. But yeah, the 1 Mystical Space Typhoon is so good. So many times people are like, set Warning. Set a monster, go. And I was like, draw my hand, Mystical Space Typhoon, played United, Special Elder, Asceticism, and I just go off from there. And like the 1 Typhoon, I was actually going to run a Magatama over this as well, but in Magatama you have to wait a turn. This just gets rid of the problem right then and there, and I was very, very happy with the results of this. So if you're not running at least one of these in your Samurai decks, I recommend trying it out, make room for it, it's worth the spot. Then of course we got Heavy Storm, staple, and Book and Reborn staple. I was originally going to run Dark Hole just because I know there's a lot of Swarm decks there, such as Heretics and stuff, but actually, like I said, never ended up playing any of those. And Dark Hole is very, very good, but I mean, it doesn't really help the deck if I already have Field Presence, so I just decided to stay away from it. Last but not least, we have the trap cards, which I'm going to go through very quickly. 2 Fiendish Chain, I kept those in. 3's too much. 2's perfect. This card was actually very, very good. I didn't draw it as much as I thought, actually, but I mean, it was still very, very good. And the fact that it stops attacks as well, it can be very, very helpful. Because then you can summon the spirit, equip it to Shien, and get some draws off of it. So, very, very good. I don't think I'd ever run 3, though. And 1, I think, would just be enough, or wouldn't be enough. You'd never see it. 2 Bottomless. This was awesome. I'm so glad I put this in. I wasn't running the last champ, so I was running 2 compulsories and 2 safe zones instead. The safe zones were okay, but the problem with safe zone is it's too passive aggressive. I mean, like it's a very balanced card in the sense that you can use it as a defensive card, or you can use it as an aggressive card if they say MST'd or something. But the biggest problem with that is that obviously it doesn't do anything to stop your opponent. It just kind of slows them down. This stops your opponent, and with a lot of the big meta decks right now, Bottomless is just so good. It stops Chaos Dragons, Heretics. It's okay versus Inzectors. It's very good against wind-ups even, so it's just a very, very good card. I really, really like the 2 Bottomless, and I'm going to keep them in just because like I like Compulsory a lot. Excuse me, obviously top deck Compulsory, it's better than Bottomless if they already have a big monster in the field. But I mean, I do have other outs, so... and then obviously 2 Warnings and 1 Solemn Judgment. Yeah, the Ghost Rare is sexy. Got around the Solemn Brigade. And my last card, I was thinking about taking out as well for 1 Double Edge, but I put it in. The 1 Mirror Force. Nobody expects this card. It's so good. As you guys know, I run it in like all my decks, and it's going to 2 next format, which is crazy. I was thinking of testing out 2, but I might just stick with 1. I really don't think you need it. But we'll see how it rolls. Maybe 2 Mirror Force will become staple, who knows. But now that Inzectors are gone, stuff like this is good again. But yeah, very, very good. I love the Mirror Force, and it put in a lot of work today. Alright, so on to the extra deck, guys. What the That's weird. Alright, so starting things off, obviously you got the 1 Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. They should obviously put him back to 2, because, you know, he's not that broken. No, I'm just kidding. He's freaking busted. I would like to see Shien back to 2 at one point, maybe, in the future, but I think the only time that Shien would ever go back to 2 is if they ban Gateway. Which, you know, honestly, I'd be okay with. I think 2 Shien would be really, really good. I think it would be balanced for the game. It's just with 2 Gateway and Double Edge and all that stuff, I think it's just like, you can get him out too easily with 2, so I don't know. It's kind of one of those Double Edge sword techs. Bad joke. Anyways, yeah, you gotta run Shien. That Beast was okay. Sadly to say, every single game I went into Nat Beast, I should have gone to Shien. It's one of those cards that's very hard to play, but it's a necessary card in the extra deck. Barkion was actually really good. He put in a lot of work against quite a few decks, and yeah, very, very good card. Mistworm, I just put him in there because I wanted a 9. I never did bring him out, but he was there just in case. Usually I'd never go into him, though, because I'm minusing myself, but, you know, he's there. Black Rose, never went to Black Rose either. It was either him or Landois. I might take him out for Landois, but Black Rose is just like, I love Black Rose. It's so good. This was a Bronic, but for next format, this is obviously going to be Gaia Knight. You still need another level 6, just in case for a big beater. But I might even end up cutting this guy. I don't know. I think most cases you're just going to go into Barkion. But yeah, Bronic getting hit really, it doesn't hurt the deck, but it's sad to see it go because it was one of my few outs to a lot of cards, especially heroes. Catastor. That's the last of the Synchros. I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 7 white cards, which means I was running 8 black cards. Quite a few. Okay, so first up we got Legendary 6 Samurai, or sorry, Shadow of the 6 Samurai Shien. He was never really, like, I never brought him out by himself. He was really just there for Gateway, for abusing Gateway, and obviously for just abusing Gateway, yeah. Shockmaster, this guy actually won me 1 game. He was pretty sick, and then he actually lost me another against Norm. I was going off, and Norm had the max C, unfortunately, which is really lucky for him. Otherwise, I would have OTK'd him. But I was like, okay, I'm just going to go for it. I summoned the Shockmaster, used his effect, he had the Veiler, so I was like, okay, you win. I had really no outs after that. Blade Armor, I went into a couple times, gets over Zen mains and stuff, he's really good. This is my new favorite card ever, Excalibur. This guy is so stupidly good in this deck. Basically 4,000, you're not afraid of Gores anymore, and he looks sweet. So I love him. Absolutely love him. Steelswarm Roach, I brought him out once, and it was really good. I had him, Shi En, and I think it was... I want to say Beast. I had pretty much a full lockdown. It's pretty much impossible for my opponent to come back. I forget what it was. Maestro, he was good. I used him a couple times. Zen mains, I brought out just once. He didn't win me any games, but he was good to have. And Invoker actually helped me OTK one game, so yeah, that was the extra deck. So that's the whole deck, guys. It was 40 cards. Extra deck was 15. I'm not going to show you the side deck because it's the side deck. You're going to side the Shadow Imprisonings and whatnot. There were some interesting side choices I made and some ones I wish I had and hadn't made, but it all comes down to your meta, and side decks are always different, so there's really nothing to say. So yeah, that was the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. I think Samurais are going to be top tier. Like, they're still really good this format, but I think they're going to be top tier again next format. Zectors are gone, which is one of the worst matchups. Chaos Dragons are gone, so the deck finally has a chance to make it a comeback. And it's still one of my favorite decks of all time. I really love my build right now. Keyed cards, of course, was the single MST and whatnot. But yeah, overall I was very happy with the deck's performance for the day. 8-2 I think is a pretty darn good record. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to check out my other videos. Other than that, you guys have a great night. Peace.